We are right now sitting on a bubble that's going to explode, and it's going to be a real bad situation. Because if we have another 3 or 4 years, we're at 18 trillion now. We're soon going to be at 20 trillion. According to the economists, who I'm not big believers in, but nevertheless, this is what they're saying, that 24 trillion, we're very close. That's the point of no return. $24 trillion. We will be there soon. That's when we become Greece.
Whether you love Trump or hate him, he's telling you an inconvenient truth the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. Let me tell you the reality of the situation right now. The U.S. economy is on the verge of collapse, and the U.S. dollar will become almost worthless. Put simply, the United States is suffering from too much debt, and the value of the U.S. dollar is overinflated already. What's worse is that the banks that were too big to fail in 2008 have become even bigger since then. Make no mistake, an economic collapse of epic proportions much larger than the last economic crisis a few years ago is going to take place before Obama leaves office. Even whistleblowers at the World Bank have openly stated that the U.S. currency is no longer viable.
Well, there is a terrible currency problem. We're on the verge of a currency war. The Federal Reserve is printing dollars like there's no tomorrow, and if they keep going, the rest of the world is not going to accept them.
This year will be the year when the United States sees a financial meltdown so astronomical it's almost impossible to fathom. In the shocking documentary that you're about to witness, you're going to learn the truth behind why the Wall Street bankers donate millions upon millions to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, and see definitive proof why the U.S. economic bubble will burst before the election's end. You'll want to make sure you watch this to the very end. You'll discover a little loophole that the ruling 1% of the elite use to legally transfer wealth from the masses to them. But that's not all. You'll learn how you too can use this legal loophole to your advantage so that you'll not only be able to protect your existing assets and savings, but also be able to profit tremendously from the coming economic collapse. In fact, by the end of the presentation, you might find yourself almost begging for the U.S. economic bubble to burst sooner so you can exploit this legal wealth transfer and come out on top. So remove all distractions, close your doors, turn up the speakers. The official presentation will begin in 3, 2, 1.
Warning, you're about to learn classified, disturbing information that previously only the 1% of the ruling class of society had access to. In this short presentation, which will not be online for very long, you'll gain access to this shocking and powerful knowledge. Once you apply what I reveal, you'll also have the ability to manipulate and control 99% of the peasant class of the population by exploiting the U.S. financial system to your advantage. And you can start as soon as tonight. It doesn't matter if you have no financial experience and lack money management skills. It doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of time. It doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of money. If you use what I show you wisely, you'll no doubt profit tremendously from the imminent economic meltdown that the American economy is about to face. In fact, we've had complete newbies literally tell us it took them less than 24 hours to experience life-changing financial results. Should you choose to ignore what I'm about to reveal to you, make no mistake, you will be stepped upon like a medieval peasant and have your financial nest egg ruined. You'll be left to shovel around in shit and grime, trying to scrape a living. My name is Ronald Richards, and I'm a retired economist. Due to the shocking nature of this presentation, we've moved our servers offshore in order to prevent further government shutdowns. However, I cannot guarantee that I can keep this video up much longer. That's why you need to watch this entire presentation right now. Let me expose the inconvenient and uncomfortable facts about the imminent financial destruction of our once great God-fearing Christian nation. Make no mistake, the United States of America, once the beacon of the world of the engine of global commerce, is headed for total financial collapse within the next 12 to 18 months. Whether you like to admit it or not, there's an invisible moving hand that controls what happens to society and our economy as a whole. This undeniable truth is all around you. You see fragments and clues hinting in the headlines every day, but few people have put the pieces together. In fact, most of the sheeple either are too brainwashed to acknowledge these inconvenient and uncomfortable realities, realities or simply are in denial and choose to be blind to what's literally staring them in the face. For the past few centuries, each and every significant financial collapse has been carefully orchestrated by the elite 1%. This is particularly true in the past 100 years. From the spectacular stock market crash in the 1920s that led to the Great Depression in the 30s to the oil and energy crisis in the 70s. These were all calculated events, manufactured and executed by the ruling class to fleece massive fortunes of wealth from the rest of the 99%. And this practice of instigating calculated and systematic economic collapses are now occurring much more frequently. In the past 20 years alone, there were 3 significant bubbles to burst in the U.S. alone. Remember the tech bubble in the 90s that resulted in 90% of investors' online startups to lose money? Who were the catalysts responsible for overhyping and inflating the valuations of worthless websites? It certainly wasn't the everyday working class, average Joe. Or what about the abnormal surge of put options on both United Airlines and American Airlines, inexplicably purchased on September the 10th, literally the day before the infamous September 11 attacks? Anyone can check the publicly available trading records clearly to verify this anomaly and notice that something was not right. And finally, during the global financial crisis not too long ago, billions upon billions of dollars of savings and retirement funds of everyday average Americans were lost. Who were the ones involved in the handling and management of the massive investment in hedge funds? It certainly wasn't someone from the 99% peasant class, I can guarantee you that. Could the ones that were ultimately responsible be in the 1% of the ruling elite? We've all witnessed the billion-dollar bailouts provided by the U.S. government to back the banks that were, quote, too big to fail. Anyone with more than a rudimentary understanding of the stock market understands that overall trading the stock market results in a zero-sum game. This means in time, everything reverts back to the mean. Ultimately, all no money will be created or lost, because essentially, someone's loss eventually becomes another's profit. There's only a transfer of funds. There's no net creation of wealth in the share market. In other words, another way to put it, all the billions of dollars that were purportedly lost in the U.S. stock market was effectively transferred in the form of enormous profits for the elite 1% who profited billions during this time. Right now, the clock is ticking, and our nation is already beyond the tipping point. At this stage in the game, even radical action of any sort that our weak-willed political leaders are unwilling to undertake would be simply too little too late. Understand this. The sequence of events that will guarantee another financial collapse is already well underway, whether you see it or not. This is partly by design, because on one hand, our corrupt political leaders are part of the 1% elite ruling class, and they certainly do not want to cause wide-scale public panic. And on the other hand, they also serve to profit tremendously from the financial fallout at the expense of the rest of the 99% of the population. But this time, there's a game-changing twist. You see, this time, when our economy collapses, it'll also bring the U.S. dollar crashing down. After this, many expert economists agree that the U.S. dollar will no longer be the world market's reserve currency. This, in turn, will send global financial markets into a downward spiral of epic proportions and lead to an economic downturn of gargantuan proportions on a worldwide scale. Make no mistake, the next collapse will make the global financial crisis we literally just experienced a few years back look like a prosperous and booming bull market. Because this time, the U.S. government does not have billions of dollars of financial surpluses to bail out the economy. In fact, our government is in more debt than we can fathom to ever pay back already. And just like every other financial calamity, the rest of the 99% will be fleeced, whilst the elite 1% of the ruling class will profit inordinately from this event. But there is hope. You see, using the knowledge that I will present to you in this presentation, you too will also be able to profit tremendously from the next financial crisis. Starting tonight, you'll have the knowledge that the ruling 1% possesses and be able to come out on top and profit from the aftermath on a level that you've never previously imagined. You don't need to be a billionaire or have a fancy economics degree to know that the fundamentals behind the U.S. economy is based on very shaky grounds. Our economy is founded on very unstable economic pillars, both domestically and internationally. Domestically, the U.S. is facing a looming financial crisis. Essentially, the reason why the U.S. is so debt-ridden is due to the perceived expected growth in time. That's why we borrowed so heavily in the past, because all economic prediction models forecasted steady growth at the time. In other words, to grow as a whole, we need to keep unemployment low and keep creating new jobs. In the event that our economy doesn't grow to the projected rate or remains stagnant for too long, then there will be problems paying back all that debt. And historically, looking at the outcomes of past governments in countries that were not able to keep the economy growing, they would almost always default in payment of that debt. Should this happen, the U.S. dollar will be instantly downgraded and would almost trigger overnight an economic calamity similar to the currency crisis that Venezuela experienced not too long ago, where inflation reached over 100% and effectively rendered their currency almost worthless. Except this time it won't happen to an out-of-the-way country with no real economic presence in the world economy like Venezuela. It'll be the collapse of the world's single most strongest economy that, according to the International Monetary Fund, is literally larger than the next 3 largest economies combined. Once that happens, the value of the U.S. dollar would collapse like a bunch of dominoes. Although this might sound bleak, this is just the start of our problems. You see, if the issues affecting the U.S. dollar were only due to domestic issues, we might have a chance that the biggest economic downfall in recorded history could be avoided, but it isn't. Because of globalization of the past few decades, the U.S. economy is also vulnerable to other potential risks. Disturbingly enough, these risks don't even need to originate from within our own borders and threaten us internationally. Currently, the U.S. owes more than $5 trillion in debt to foreign countries. China and Japan are the largest holders of our debt. If their economies don't continue to grow, they'll be forced to dump their holdings of U.S. Treasury notes through the secondary market, which would be another serious catalyst for the rapid devaluation of the U.S. dollar as well. What's going to happen when all of your savings evaporate into thin air overnight? Make no mistake, there will be bank runs all across the country, coast to coast, where 99% of the population will desperately attempt to withdraw their now worthless paper money. I hope you're prepared, because the clock keeps ticking, and it's a question of when and not if that this inevitably will occur. Are you and your family prepared for what's going to happen? Can you honestly tell me that you and your family will be financially secure after this? Or are you simply hoping that this won't happen? Are you burying your head in the sand, pretending that you don't see the same realities that I've clearly highlighted to you in this presentation? I don't know about you, but unlike 99% of the others, I'm actually kind of hoping that a financial collapse will come sooner. I know this might sound extremely selfish, and honestly it is, but before you judge me, first listen to my story. Back in 2004, I had been monitoring the CDO market with several of my professional colleagues. We saw what was happening to the U.S. market at that time, and how liberal economic policies along with deregulation were distorting the price of both real estate and the equities market. We were one of a small group of people who tried to sound the alarm back in 2004, but we made one critical mistake. We actually trusted that the federal government would do the right thing and reveal this information to the public through public announcements. They did not. Instead, they forced us to shut down in late 2004 and threatened us with legal action if we dared mention our findings. In hindsight, we shouldn't have complied and caved to the pressure. But let's just say the government has very persuasive ways to make you do what they want, especially when you have a family and well-beings of loved ones to look out for. Then we all know what happened next. In 2008, the bottom fell out of the CDO market. Our stock market literally collapsed overnight. The first domino toppled over, ensuing in worldwide financial panic, resulting in a recession that lasted the better part of 10 years. In some ways, we're still digging out of it, and will be for many years to come. However, not everyone was affected by the recession in a negative way. You see, there is an economic theory about the share market, whereby experts argue that it essentially is a zero-sum game. Now, this means the losses of one end up as gains for another. And if history has anything to go by, the 99% of the peasant class would once again be the ones footing the bill and making the elite 1% insane amounts of profits during this time. And the more investigation I did about this topic, the more evidence supported this. I contacted fellow professional colleagues of mine who were very intrigued. Together, we started to map out our findings by tracing clues left behind, hidden amongst millions of transactions and financial records. Eventually, we created a program that perfectly simulated abnormal trading patterns we identified from carefully scrutinizing the data. This was painstaking work, and it spanned across different time zones, currencies, and financial instruments. After months of trial and error, we eventually were able to successfully emulate and replicate the process by which the 1% were able to not only protect their assets, but effectively transferred wealth from the 99% peasant class to themselves. This was achieved through the correct funneling of assets through certain mediums, whilst essentially bearing little or no risk to themselves. And it was nothing like anything we had ever expected, because it wasn't a set of complicated trading rules. No, it was much simpler than that. In fact, after finally figuring out how simple it was almost embarrassing that a bunch of highly trained professionals in the fields of economics, finance, law, and accounting didn't see this obvious method earlier. It was under our noses this entire time, and we weren't able to put our finger on it until now. now. The next logical step, of course, was to actually implement what we've discovered and see how it would react to real-life market conditions. And the effects were outright shockingly impressive. Initially, our tests were much better than expected, so we decided to conduct trials using this secret system with more eager students. It was only after hundreds of tests, based off results from varying candidates and scenarios, and having a success rate of more than 95%, did we realize we'd stumbled across the secret formula that the elite 1% of the ruling class have in their possession this entire time. Initially, we didn't have a name for it, but eventually we decided to call it the U.S. Domino Survivor. This was because of the uncanny ability of the test subjects to not only survive any financial calamity, but to come out and actually thrive after it. And you can apply that secret tonight. It doesn't matter if you have no financial experience. It doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of time. It doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of money. The best thing is we've had complete newbies literally tell us that it took them less than 24 hours to implement these secrets and secure all their assets. It's that quick and simple to use. I'm not even exaggerating. We've had students who had zero previous experience report that they were able to utilize what we taught them and actually make a profit from small dips in the economic cycle. Understand this. What you're about to learn isn't some unproven, untested system. This has been meticulously compiled systematically by economic, finance, and legal experts. This is the exact proven and tested system that 1% of the elite ruling class follow in order to transfer wealth from 99% of the peasant class and profit tremendously during any financial downturn. We wholeheartedly believe in this system and are entrusting the financial safety of our own families using this exact system. We trust in it because we're using it ourselves right now, today. If we weren't, we wouldn't even be wasting your time. Here's what Larry from Texas had to say. I'm in my 50s and only made enough to ever pay the bills. I never thought about the financial future of my family until the global financial crisis a few years ago destroyed what little savings I had. I'd almost given up on having retirement funds completely and hoped that either the government or my kids will take care of me in the future. When I first tried the U.S. Domino Survivor course, I was worried it would be complicated and hard to implement. I'm not a finance expert, and I also just recently got my new iPad tablet from my daughter as a gift. I wanted to know if it worked there. I was able to download the entire course within 60 seconds. I really liked how the course came in audio format too, because too much reading hurts my eyes. After applying some of the principles in this course, I was excited to show my son-in-law, who was a top financial planner in town. As soon as he saw what I was doing, he was floored and wanted to copy it. I'm so glad that I tried this course because although I don't have a lot of money, I already profited slightly from a small dip in the market. John, 37, from Johannesburg, South Africa, wrote, I lost my job several months ago and was hoping I could scrape by on my savings before I got another job. I needed to do something fast because I knew how volatile the economy was, and I was literally almost completely broke. I didn't have thousands of dollars to spend. Then I tried the U.S. Domino Survivor course. The results were almost instant. Within a few days of implementing what I was taught, there was a small burst in the sector where I had some assets in. Normally, I would have panicked and probably lost money in that situation, but this time, I followed what I'd learned and made a tiny profit already. If things keep going this way, maybe I don't need to get another job after all. Michael from Singapore said this, I'd been worried about an economic collapse ever since I was a kid. This was probably because I saw what happened to our family's finances during the 1997 Asian financial crisis. That's why I always saved and was frugal with money. But even then, I wasn't able to walk away unscathed during the last global economic meltdown. I honestly thought to myself I'd never be able to be 100% safe after any financial crisis in the future. Then a friend of mine told me about the U.S. Domino Survivor course, so I decided to try it. And within days, I was able to immediately reduce my risk exposure to almost zero during any calamity. After nearly 20 years of constantly worrying about having my savings wiped out, I'm almost hoping that a depression will come sooner so I can profit handsomely from it. Vincent from Germany wrote, I've never had much of a problem trading the markets and profiting from it. I am financially savvy and I own and operate various business and investments. However, I was never able to fully reduce my risk exposure and set up a system that would both protect me from a financial downturn in the economy and a complete U.S. dollar currency collapse. That was until I read U.S. Domino Survivor and tried some of the strategies mentioned. Since then, my portfolio has always been in the green, even though the market's been on the downswing. The best part is, I don't even want to watch the market anymore. Inside U.S. Domino Survivor, you'll discover the truth behind the elite 1%. In this shocking chapter, you'll learn in explicit detail how the 1% of the elite have set up both a legal and financial system that focuses on legal wealth transfer from the 99% 99% of the peasant class. This is the real reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Once you understand this, you too will also be able to start exploiting and manipulating the system starting tonight. Wouldn't it be great if someone showed you with specific and precise examples how the elite 1% exploit legal loopholes that allow them to actually transfer funds out of the tax system and make the 99% of the peasant class foot the bill? Well, that's just the start of what I'm going to reveal to you in Financial Fundamentals of the Filthy Rich. After applying just 10% of what I show you in this section, you're going to instantly increase your spending income, even if you don't actually earn more money, without getting into horrendous debt, whilst paying less taxes or avoiding them altogether. In the Permanent Asset Protection, you're going to learn previously underground methods that will absolutely guarantee that your existing assets will be untouchable. Let's face it, we all know that the corrupt politicians and the elite have made insane amounts of money year after year for centuries. All that dirty money must be laundered and stored somewhere safe, right? Let us show you the legal method of money laundering that the ruling class have used for centuries to protect their assets and wealth in perpetuity. That's just one of the eye-opening revelations you're going to get after going through the Permanent Asset Protection module, so you can apply it tonight. Imagine being in a situation where you'd be making money regardless of where the economy is going. So not only would you be making good money during the boom times, but you were also in a situation where your net worth would actually increase each time there was a financial fallout. Yes, you heard right. In the Fiscal Fallout Increasers module, we're going to do all that and much, much more. I guarantee you, as long as you use one tactic in this section, you're going to smile each time the stock market crashes, because that means your net worth will increase each time. Did you know the average American is under unlimited legal and fiscal liability if something happens to them? Yes, that's right. Imagine if you did absolutely nothing wrong, but were still liable to have your entire net worth and financial savings ruined. This could come in the form of legal lawsuits, IRS investigation, and random audits. What if there was a way to not only reduce your financial risk exposure, but eliminate it completely? In the Rapid Risk Reducers, let me show you how to make yourself 100% risk-free from any form of liability that would affect your finances in any way. This way, you'll truly have peace of mind, knowing that even if someone with power, money, and influence made you a target, there was absolutely nothing they could do to take away a single penny from you. The next section is almost borderline illegal and is one of the main reasons we had to host this video offshore. It's borderline illegal because we're going to show you how to prevent paying another penny in tax for the rest of your life. Remember, tax evasion is illegal, but we're not going to do that. Instead, in the Perpetual Tax Prevention section, just like the elite 1%, we're going to legally game the system so that paying the tax man will be a thing of the past. What about exploiting globalization loopholes? Using just one of the secrets I show you here, you're going to be well on your way to throwing extravagant parties and celebrations each time there's a dip in the financial market. You think the rich care about the financial fallouts? No. They know each time something bad happens to the 99% of the peasant class, it means more wealth transferred to them. Now it's your turn to make this happen. Next, you're going to learn about permanent privacy protection. It's a proven fact, and already proven on public record, that the government and the NSA are literally eavesdropping on the average everyday American, even if you're not a suspected terrorist. Cases show time and time again that when the government can, they will be peering through your emails, reading your text messages, tracking your movements, and even monitoring your online social media posts such as Facebook. This is not acceptable, and our rights to privacy should be protected. Since the government wants to abuse your right to privacy, then I'll show you how to absolutely guarantee you can cover your tracks. Let me show you shockingly powerful tricks and methods you can use to make it literally impossible to track you down. It would be as if you disappeared from the face of the earth as far as the government's concerned. Ensuring your privacy is 100% safeguarded. Did you know that 93% of Americans will be victims of at least one financial time bomb that will all but cripple the entire net worth in their lifetime? It'll only be a matter of time till one of those events will wipe you out. That's why in the Avoiding Hidden Financial Time Bombs, we're going to show you how to avoid this and much more. The 1% of the ruling class not only know how to navigate around these hidden financial death traps, but exploit them and use them to their advantage. After using this, you will too. What about losing your liabilities altogether? Let's face it, the ultimate goal is for most people to make lots of money and leave all your liabilities of life behind forever. Let me show you how to use modern day technology that's readily available right now. Today, you can get off the grid and stop being beholden to anyone while still enjoying all the perks that go along with our high-tech lifestyle. This is just a short preview preview of what you'll know after downloading U.S. Domino Survivor. Go ahead and download it to your computer, phone, or tablet. The popularity of this system has reached mainstream media outlets, and we estimate that right now there are at least 4,000 other people watching this presentation. This is why we urge you to take action right now, because only 300 copies of the system will be available before this presentation is removed offline. Once this quota is reached, this page has been digitally encoded to automatically shut down. The reason for this limit is simple. My team and I want you to make sure you have all the tools you need to succeed. My team offers one-on-one customized support whenever you need it, but we can only extend this support to a maximum of 300 people. This is why these spots really are limited. So let me ask you, how much would it be worth to not only survive the coming financial collapse, but come out on top of it with more tangible wealth than you can imagine, regardless of what financial situation you're in right now, how much debt you're in, and how much money you're making right now? What kind of value would you place on knowing the secret system that the 1% of the ruling class rule to accumulate more wealth than the rest of the 99% of the population, so that even without a collapse, you'll be able to exploit the system and never worry about having enough money to another bill again, so that you'll finally have the time and money to enjoy life and live it to its fullest without any budgeting restrictions, so that you can be finally free and independent and quit your boring 9-to-5 dull job that eats away at every facet of your life. Now, I can tell you, in the past, I've attended seminars where people from around the world of all ages and backgrounds have paid thousands of dollars to learn these same secrets. $1,997 would be a fair price for U.S. Domino Survivor if you consider that you're about to receive all of this information immediately without you having to pay for a seminar ticket and a flight and hotel room. Not to mention, you'll even receive support from my team to make sure you're 100% successful. But you're not going to pay $1,997. You won't even need to pay $997. Not even $497. Because you're still watching this presentation, it means you're one of the lucky few who are still allowed to participate in this private test group. You can access this complete system, plus a whole bunch of VIP bonuses for only $47. That's right, just $47. If you're still sitting on the fence and can't decide if this one-of-a-kind system is right for you, then I'll make your decision even easier. Your trial purchase is absolutely backed by an ironclad 100% money-back guarantee, so you can download the system knowing that you're not risking a single penny. I'm sure you'll agree that this is a very fair offer. And because you've watched this presentation this far, I know you're an action taker, so I want to reward you with special gifts. I'm going to give you free special access to an exclusive members-only site that normally costs $67.95 per month. But as part of today's special offer, you'll get instant access to it for free. It's called the Survivor's Blueprint Community Center, a $67.95 value, and it's your personal online survival institute. You'll gain access to new modules every 30 days. This includes advanced coaching from military commandos, Navy SEALs, and Special Forces snipers. You'll receive exclusive tips and information through videos, audios, and exclusive reports to fully protect you and your family, regardless of what situation you'll find yourself placed in, whether it be man-made or otherwise. You'll receive a password to a secret website where you'll discover a treasure trove of information. You're literally getting the most comprehensive and up-to-date battle-ready survival training accessible within a few clicks of your mouse. This advanced monthly coaching program is proven to get you results up to 300% faster. The best thing is, it's constantly updated with new training modules released every 30 days, and you're not going to find these secrets anywhere else. This isn't the sort of generic and boring rehashed advice that you're going to find anywhere else. My team and I actually go out and gather the best knowledge and advice from the world's foremost survival pioneers and experts. Are you feeling excited? Well, you should be, because you're one click away from experiencing the kind of lifestyle, freedom, and knowledge that previously only 1% of the ruling class elite possessed. Once you click the Add to Cart button below, you're going to feel great, because you'll know you'll finally be financially secure, regardless of what the economy's doing. Even if unemployment is rising and the share market is diving, you'll be trying to hide your delight, as you know your net worth is increasing as everyone else's is on the decline. And you'll even receive a package of exclusive bonuses if you click the Add to Cart button. Let me tell you what you'll get. U.S. Domino Survivor audio course, a $147 value. To make it even easier for you to absorb these secrets, we went the extra mile and created an audio version of the entire U.S. Domino Survivor course, and we're going to give it to you for free. This way, you can listen to the course on your computer or in your car, or slip on a pair of headphones and listen while you're at the gym, taking a walk, or anywhere else. And here's the next bonus: Prepping Americans for Hyperinflation documentary video, a $67 value. Because we want to make sure that you're thoroughly prepared for the oncoming collapse, we're including an educational documentary about hyperinflation design, specifically for Americans and people living in Western societies. Be prepared to be shocked to the very core by the contents of this eye-opening presentation. You're going to learn the alarming truth about how close the USA is on the verge of a total financial collapse. That is, until you realize you have this one-of-a-kind U.S. domino survivor system at your fingertips, and once you implement the strategies, you'll almost be selfishly salivating each time there's an economic crisis in our nation. TSA-proof credit card knife, a $27 value. If you've ever wanted to be able to carry around a razor-sharp knife that even the TSA cannot detect, this thing passes metal detectors, then I have you covered. I'm going to ship you an ultra-slim knife that's disguised as a credit card that you literally carry around in your wallet. The best thing is that it's not some flimsy plastic knife either. It has surgical steel blades and is made from stainless steel, so it's durable and rust-proof. Don't worry about cutting yourself either. It has a built-in safety sheath, and this prevents any accidents caused by an open blade in your pocket or pack, and even prevents the blade from becoming blunted during everyday carrying. On top of that, I'm also going to give you absolutely free a EverStrike waterproof fire starter match, a $27 value. If you've ever been in a situation where you need to create fire fast, then I've got you covered here. Regardless of what circumstances you find yourself in, even if it's pouring down rain or you're in the middle of a snowy blizzard, you know you're safe because you're going to have this one-of-a-kind ferro rod and wick waterproof match at your disposal. The ferro rod strikes at over 3,000 degrees and flame burns at over 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And the best thing is each match is capable of 15,000 long-burning strikes. It'll be as if you brought your own personal fire-starting furnace wherever you go. And finally, we're going to give you unlimited lifetime updates to the system, a $19 value. It always bugs me when I buy a course online, then a few weeks or months later they announce some new version and expect me to pay more money for it. The U.S. Domino Survivor system is constantly being updated and improved with new modules and strategies. And whenever a new version is released, you'll receive an email from us that allows you to download the latest version for free. So, let me remind you of the bonuses you're going to instantly receive on top of the U.S. Domino Survivor system when you click the Add to Cart button below. The Survivors Blueprint Community Center, a $67.95 value. U.S. Domino Survivor Audio Course, a $147 value. Prepping Americans for Hyperinflation Documentary Video, a $67 value. TSA-proof credit card knife, a $27 value. EverStrike waterproof fire starter match, a $27 value. And unlimited lifetime updates to the system, a $19 value a month. That's over $354.95 of value. And those are just the high-quality bonuses we're going to give you on top of the U.S. Domino Survivor system. Remember, this one-of-a-kind system that reveals the financial secret of the 1% and is valued at more than a few $1,000s when you factor in what we normally charge to our students. And you can download the entire U.S. Domino Survivor and receive all $354.95 worth of bonuses for only $47. The bonuses alone make this a ridiculously cheap bargain, but this might not be available tomorrow, which is why you need to click on the Add to Cart button right now. On the next page, you'll complete your order. Your purchase is 100% secure and is encrypted with the latest 256-bit encryption protocol, which guarantees that your purchase is safe, secure, and most importantly, private. And remember, your trial purchase is backed by a 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee. And the only reason we can make you this risk-free offer is that we're very confident that you'll be absolutely thrilled by the secrets you're about to learn. Click the Add to Cart button below this video so you can discover these incredible, life-changing secrets right now. But you need to act now. The window of opportunity for you to save yourself from the coming economic collapse is rapidly closing. When you started watching this presentation, there were roughly 87 spots left. But since then, this website's digital download reporting software has recorded more than 55 transactions. This means there are less than 32 spots available, and this web page will automatically be removed from the internet once all the spots are taken. This is why you must take action right now in order to secure access to this entire system and receive all the bonuses. You're looking at a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to totally transform your own destiny so that you'll finally know the feeling of being in control of your future forever. Look, the reality is that the financial collapse is happening. The warning signs are painfully obvious and as clear as day. You can either be prepared to weather the storm, and using my strategies, you'll actually come out on top, Or you can pretend it's not coming and be caught by surprise when it happens and everything starts falling apart around you. The question then is, which position would you rather be in? Caught by surprise and swept up in the chaos, putting your family at risk, or prepared and able to weather the storm and profit tremendously from it? You've probably seen the signs yourself on the news and grown uneasy, even if you weren't exactly sure why you were uneasy. Those were your instincts kicking in, telling you that trouble was coming. Deep down inside, you know it's true. The question, the only question that really matters, will you be ready for it when it happens? Or will you and your family be one of the countless nameless victims that will be another statistic suffering from the imminent collapse that you can see no doubt it is coming? Don't let that happen. Once you apply what I teach you, you will never have another worry in this world to ever worry over. Right now, the choice you make will absolutely affect the rest of your life. Because if you make the right choice, you'll have the ability to change your future and thrive from the imminent collapse of the U.S. economy. And yes, you can have it all tonight. All you need to do is click on the Add to Cart button below and complete the checkout process and apply this easy, proven method. Now, since you've watched this far, I know you might be sitting on the fence and asking yourself whether or not to take advantage of this offer. But the only reason you're where you are right now is because I know you know somewhere in the back of your mind that what I'm telling you is right. You know deep down inside that something is missing, but you just can't place your finger on what it is. So you're at a crossroads, and you have three options. Option one, you can close this page and leave right now. You'll continue to live the life that you have and experience again and again the kind of disappointment and financial uncertainty that led you to watch this presentation. We both know that this isn't what you want. Option two, you can leave this page and try to use the knowledge you've gained from this presentation to wing it and figure it out for yourself. But let's face it, no amount of winging will allow you to exploit the loopholes that the 1% ruling class have been using since the advent of our modern financial system. And when the coming economic collapse comes, you're just going to be another financial fatality statistic being reported on the news. Option three, you can try out U.S. Domino Survivor and take advantage of this incredible package, including the VIP bonus materials for the incredibly low discounted price of just $47. Remember, as I've shown you already, the bonuses on their own are valued at around $354.95 and are worth more than the price you're being asked to pay right now. Simply click the Add to Cart button below and complete your checkout process. Remember, this is really a 60-day trial purchase, and it's absolutely risk-free. This website's records now show that there are less than 7 spots left out of the 300 spots originally available. This presentation is being watched by 2,327 people right now. We expect the remaining 7 spots to be claimed within the next few minutes, if not sooner. So if you don't take action immediately, I cannot promise that you'll be able to receive these secrets after today. Click the Add to Cart button right now and give it a test drive for 60 days. But we're confident that you're going to be absolutely blown away by the secret you're about to discover. Let's face it, you and your family deserve a secure and financial future. I know that. And if you've watched this far, you know that as well. Now's the time to take what is rightfully yours. Now's the time to experience the kind of lifestyle that you were destined and deserve to live, so that you'll never have to worry about what will happen to interest rates. So you'll never need to worry about what's happening to the economy. So that regardless of the way the share market is going, you know you're covered, and your net worth will only go one way, and that's up. It's time for you to take charge of your financial future, so you're no longer just another individual who has their rights exploited and abused by the 1%, and to be one of the ruling elite of people who know how to game the system and manipulate the laws and regulations to your advantage. This is what you'll experience if you click the Add to Cart button below this video and try out U.S. Domino Survivor. Make today the day that your financial future will be safe and secure. Make today the day you'll mark on your calendar, where you finally overcome all your fears and doubts and get the peace of mind that your family deserves. So you'll be bulletproof regardless of what the economic outlook is, regardless how bad inflation is. You'll always have the U.S. Domino Survivor secret safeguarding your assets. It doesn't matter what hardships everyone else will face. You know you have life's trump card in your hands. All you need to do is click the Add to Cart button to get immediate access. Once you click the button below, you'll receive instant access to these bonuses on top of the U.S. Domino Survivor system. First, the Survivor's Blueprint Community Center, a $67.95 value. Number 2, U.S. Domino Survivor Audio Course, a $147 value. 3, Prepping Americans for Hyperinflation documentary video, a $67 value. 4, TSA-proof credit card knife, a $27 value. 5, EverStrike waterproof fire starter match, a $27 value. And 6, unlimited lifetime updates to the system, a $99 $19 value a month. This is the only course out there that shows you the secret of the 1% ruling class so that you'll be able to understand and exploit legal loopholes to your advantage. According to our stats, our number of available spots is now down to 4. Within a few minutes, this website will no longer be online and your chance of access to the secret method will be gone for good. Make today the day you change your life once and for all. It only takes one click of the button below. Whatever you decide to do, I truly wish you the best. Now, you're still around? Maybe you have some questions. So let me answer some of the most popular ones for you. First of all, Johnny, 45 from Phoenix, Arizona, emailed us to ask this question. Is the U.S. Domino Survivor course going to work for someone like me? I have a regular job and I don't have extra money to spend. I also have a family to take care of and I don't have a lot of time. Does it apply to all kinds of people in any situation? Johnny, the answer is yes. This will work for you in any given situation, including yours. Remember, this method reveals to you the secret that the 1% of the elite use to dominate and control 99% of the world's wealth, regardless of what the global economic situation is. The U.S. Domino Survivor works for anyone, regardless of your situation. It works if you're a single parent. It works if you don't have a lot of time. It works if you have bad credit. It works even if you don't have a lot of money. This works for anyone, period. Next question from Vincent in Austin, Texas. How fast do I get access to the program? And will it work on my phone or iPad? Vincent, you'll have all of these secrets laid out in front of you within 30 seconds. As soon as you complete your checkout, your spot will be reserved to receive the training system, and you'll be able to access and download it to any device, including your iPhone, iPad, smartphone, computer, or laptop. Johnny in Las Vegas, Nevada asks, what if it doesn't work for me? Can I trust your 60-day money-back guarantee? Johnny, your purchase is really just a test purchase because it's backed by a 100% ironclad guarantee. If you implement what we teach you and take action and still don't get results within 60 days, then just send us an email and we'll refund every penny. He also continues, how hard is it to implement this plan? It sounds complicated. If it sounds complicated, that's because you haven't seen the step-by-step outline that we've mapped out for you. Of course, it seems overwhelming at first, but that's why we've created U.S. Domino Survivor to be as foolproof as possible. There's no need to be intimidated by the process. We'll guide you through every step. Robert, 35, from Quebec, Canada, asks, how long will this take? We've had students finishing the course within the same day of downloading it. Others have taken a little longer, so it really depends on how quickly you want to become 100% financially secure. It can be done in as little or as much time as you dictate. He then continues, okay, but what if nothing happens? We created the U.S. Domino Survivor and Survival in mind, and make no mistake, something will happen. But even if I'm wrong and nothing happens, you'll have gained a boatload of invaluable skills that no one can take away from you. Now, on top of that, if you apply the secrets we teach you, every single time there's a dip in the share market or a potential threat to the economy, you're going to have an increase in your overall net wealth. Remember, we're showing you the tricks and strategies that the secret 1% of the ruling elite dominate and control the world's wealth, regardless of the current prevailing economic conditions at the time. And finally, Robert finishes with, I don't have a lot of time or money. Will this work for me? Short answer is yes. This will work for you. The complete answer is that you'll have to spend at least a little money to get the system completely set up. But it's not like you need thousands of dollars lying around. What you need to start is minimal. Anthony from Brisbane, Australia asks, will this work if I'm outside of the U.S.? Even though we wrote the U.S. Domino Survivor system with residents in the U.S. in mind, the system by design sees those who practice it traveling all over the world. So yes, you could start from anywhere in the world and still make full use of the program. The asset protection strategies will work for you no matter where you are, as will the rest. And he finishes with, what exactly do I get when I try out U.S. Domino Survivor? When you click the Add to Cart button below and proceed to the next page, you'll not only get the complete U.S. Domino Survivor system, but you'll also get the following bonuses if you take action today. First of all, the Survivor's Blueprint Community Center, a $67.95 value. Number 2, U.S. Domino Survivor audio course, a $147 value. Number 3, Prepping Americans for Hyperinflation documentary video, a $67 value. At 4, TSA-proof credit card knife, a $27 value. 5, Everstrike waterproof fire starter match, a $27 value. And 6, unlimited lifetime updates to the system, a $19 value a month. This VIP exclusive bonus package you're about to receive by itself is worth far more than the $47 you're going to pay for the U.S. Domino Survivor. So I'm sure you'll agree that this is a very generous offer. Once again, let me remind you, this package is backed by an unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee. You have 2 full months to try out this package for a full 60 days. This is a trial purchase where you're risking nothing. Remember, if you have any more questions, you can simply click the Add to Cart button and you'll see contact details on our download page where we'll be more than happy to assist you with whatever you need. Let's face it, our country's economy is not going to stay as strong as it is, and the signs of collapse are already imminent and everywhere. The government's fiscal policy of quantitative easing keeps driving the velocity of money lower. Remember, it's lower now than it was during the height of the Great Depression. The recovery is a sham and a lie. There are fewer people working today than there were when the recession started in 2008, and that number continues to shrink. We're already at the tipping point. At this point, there's nothing that can be done to prevent a collapse. It's inevitable. Just keep an eye on the headlines. You can't miss it. The signs are everywhere. Collapse is coming, and the U.S. government knows it. The elite 1% of the ruling class have their backup plans ready. But what about you? What will you and your family do? Because you know as well as I do, when the shit hits the fan, you're going to be left alone. No help's going to come and aid you. You'll be left on your own because Uncle Sam isn't coming to your rescue. They never were. And when it all comes apart, FEMA might show up at your door, but not to help you. They'll come to try to take your stockpile away, just load it onto the back of one of their trucks and leave you high and dry. But if you're smart, you won't be there when it happens, of course. Why? Because you'll be living a better, freer life, traveling the world and largely immune to the collapse when it happens. They won't be able to touch you or your family. So go on, click on one of the Add to Cart buttons below and give U.S. Domino Survivor a test drive so you'll have the peace of mind you and your family deserve. Thank you again for watching this presentation. This is Ronald Richards signing off.